when he cometh to make up his jewels, all his jewels, precious jewels, his loved and his own. Like the stars of the morning, his bright crown adorning, they shall shine in their beauty, bright gems for his crown. Well, let's do the verse about little children, because that's you guys. Little children who love their Redeemer, are his jewels, precious jewels, his loved and his own. Like the stars of the morning, his bright crown adorning, they shall shine in their beauty, bright gems for his crown. The Lord is in his holy temple. Let all the earth keep silence before him. Let us pray. I think it's time for saying today. Next time we'll do singing. Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so upon the earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. O Lord, forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Amen. Okay, today is my second favorite story from the book of Revelation. I'll let you know when we get to my favorite, but this one's pretty good too. Because when I was a kid, and still as a grown-up, I loved horses. And there are 4 horses in today's story. Well, let me remind you. So far, we've met John, who's a prisoner on the island of Patmos, a disciple of the Lord. He's writing down everything the Lord tells him to write down, everything the Lord is showing him, and so far, John has seen 2 things. Well, lots of things, but 2 main things. The first thing was God standing with these 7 golden candlesticks all around him, a white robe, a sword coming out of his mouth, stars in his right hand, and that was when God gave him the job of writing everything down to turn into the book of Revelation, which we are reading. Then God got John up into heaven. He lifted John up into heaven so that John could see God sitting on his throne, surrounded by all this amazing stuff. An emerald rainbow, a sea of glass, little lamps of fire floating in the glass. Let's see, 24 smaller thrones with angels sitting on those thrones with golden crowns. And he heard thunderings and voices, and he saw lightning. And John saw 4 living creatures full of eyes. And the living creatures cried out, "Holy, holy, holy, Lord God Almighty." And every time they did that, the angels took off their gold crowns and threw their gold crowns down in front of the Lord, the King of Kings. Now, I think you probably remember I mentioned that God was holding something in his hand. Too small for you to see in the picture that I showed you, so I'll just tell you. It was something called a scroll. Scroll, not squirrel. A squirrel is an animal. This is a scroll, which is a kind of book that they used to have way back when. I have a very nice scroll in the classroom that I can show kids, a pretend one, but it shows you what it's like. You were all in my worships last year, so you might remember the scroll. 2 sticks with paper rolled in between that you can roll up into one roll. That's the way all books used to be long ago. So this was the kind of book that would have been in the world when John was alive and when Jesus was alive. John would not have been surprised to see that kind of book, But what did surprise him was that the book or scroll that the Lord was holding in his hand on the throne was all sealed up. It was like 7 ribbons or 7 locks that were tying it shut. And John was sad in his heart because he knew, somehow in his heart he knew, that it was very important for people to be able to open that book and read what was inside. And it couldn't be opened because it was locked shut. And John wept much, the word says. He writes down that he wept much. He was very sad and cried because he knew how important it was for people to be able to read that. Now, it wasn't the Lord who had locked those ideas up that were in that book. It was evil spirits. They've made it so people in the world couldn't understand the word. And John realized, oh, that's the Lord's word that he's holding, and the evil spirits have locked it up so people don't understand it. Who could open it? Well, I'm sure you know the answer. The Lord will open it. An angel came and told John, said, don't cry. It's okay. The Lamb will open the seals of the book. Who's the Lamb? The Lord. Sometimes he's called Lion because he's so strong. Sometimes he's called Lamb because he's so gentle. The angel said, do not weep, don't cry. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, there he is, the Lion, has prevailed to open the scroll and to loose its 7 seals. And after that one time that he gets called Lion, then John calls him the Lamb. And the Lamb, or the Lord, starts opening the seals of the book. Do you remember last year when we did this? We had 7 rubber bands on the scroll, and I cut them with scissors, boop, and every time one of the seals gets open, or every time one of the rubber bands got cut, John sees something new. So here's what he sees. It's the thing I like so much about horses. I'll show you the pictures afterwards. All right. Now, when I saw the Lamb, the Lord, open one of the seals, I heard one of the 4 living creatures saying with a voice like thunder, come and see. And I looked, and behold, a white horse. And he who sat on the white horse, that's the rider, had a bow. For shooting arrows, he has a bow, and a crown was given to him, and he went out conquering and to conquer. The rider on this good, beautiful, pure white horse is very strong and powerful. And I'm just going to show you the picture long distance right now, and then I'll show it to you up close at the end if there's time. Here's the rider on the white horse with his bow and his crown. Underneath is the scroll with the first seal getting cut open. So that's what John sees for the first seal, or the first lock, getting opened up. Okay, seal number 2. Imagine Miss Laura cutting the rubber band, the second rubber band on that scroll. When God opened the second seal, John writes, I heard the second living creature. Those are the ones full of eyes, right? I heard the second living creature saying, come and see. And another horse, fiery red, went out. And it was granted to the one who sat on it to take peace from the earth, that people should kill each other. And there was given to him a great sword. Now, the first horse, it's easy to tell, was good. The first horse and the rider, the white horse and his rider, were good. But what does this one sound like? It's fiery red. And the job of the person, the man on the horse's back, is to take peace from the earth, that people should kill each other. And he has a big sword for hurting people. Does that sound good? This guy's bad. In fact, he's a picture of one of the evil spirits from hell. So we've got the good white horse and the bad red horse. And that's this guy. More on that in a minute when I show you the picture up close. But there it is for now. The second seal has been opened. And the third seal. Anyone remember from last year? Bad or good? Good or bad? When the Lord opened the third seal, boop, I heard the third living creature saying, "Come and see." And I looked, and behold, a black horse. And he who sat on the horse had a pair of scales, balance scales, in his hands. The word doesn't tell us too much. John doesn't tell us too much about what he saw. More than that, the horse is black, and you can guess black, not always, but often, is a color that means badness. And this is a bad horse and a bad rider. This rider is holding the scale almost as if to see if there was enough love in the world, to weigh the love in the world, the love for the Lord, and see if there was enough. And it turns out that there wasn't. The side without love is heavier than the side with love on that balance scale. The oil and the wine. Well, that was the third creature. Whoops. Not the third creature, sorry. The third horse. Black. Bad. And here's this guy with his balance scales looking all frowny. And the third seal has been opened. Okay. The fourth seal. Most of you have been in my worships for 2 years, and you probably remember that the last one is really bad. The rider on the fourth horse is the leader of the armies of hell. Here we go. When the Lord opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth living creature saying, "Come and see." And I looked, and behold, writes John, a pale horse. Pale here means almost no color, the color of a ghost, or a very sick person with no healthy pink color in their cheeks. No healthy color, just something that's almost no color. Death and dying, ghostliness. The name of he who sat on the pale horse was Death. That means dying. And hell followed with him. Wow. So John looked, and he saw this horse with death, in this picture shown by a skeleton. Though John doesn't say that's what he looked like, but I think it's a good representation, a good way of showing what death might have looked like. And you can imagine all the horrible soldiers of hell following behind, hooting and hollering and getting ready to come fight against the Lord because they hate the Lord so much. I used kind of a lighty sort of purple color for pale. I didn't want it to be white because I didn't want to mix up with the good white horse. So I tried to find something that was just a light color. I actually love purple, but I tried to make this not beautiful because this is not a good horse. When I colored this picture, that's what I was thinking. Okay. 4 horses. How many good? How many bad? 1 good, 3 bad. So boy, it sure sounds like, 1 against 3. For sure, hell is going to win. We know that's not true. Who's going to win? Who's the one who has all the power in the end? It's the Lord. So the Lord is going to win. But for now, John sees that all the armies of hell are lining up against the Lord. They want to come take over heaven, and they want to keep people from going to heaven. So for now, it looks like, we know it's going to be okay in the end, right? How many seals were there, by the way? There were 7, right? And we've done 4 of them. So we still have 1, 2, 3 to go. They're pretty wild. Amazing stuff happens. And then at the very end of the 7th seal, we get to see something beautiful. A little weird, but beautiful. Anyway, hope I'm doing okay here with time. We've got the white horse. And the red horse. And the black horse. And the pale horse. 4 horses, 4 seals. More next time.